I'm all like this, based on one or two, and I know the run normally. Every morning I must deliver my 3 sharp updates based on 1 or 2. I know the sup for inside the Nigerian lifestyle. I beg. I agree to anyway. They watch this video from when I go to say and no get respect. Sharply, we enter the matter. Sharply like this one. As I tell you, so the first matter, the first update I carry off on like this way. Una no say yesterday I felt clear on based on say una presido in local. He sent some kind convoy, I be envoy. Go Niger Republic. I don't know why Baba carried in Niger matter for head. Yesterday, Baba sent some envoys. Go Niger Republic. May they go dialogue. Until this Niger matter, how they sub for there since last week. I be last week so. All the way fall this morning as I declare you so. The people where Baba say go Niger, they come back yesterday night too. Mission not accomplished, they come back. No worry, I go give you the food just now. Just relax. Number 2, now be big. Although the NLC and federal government matter soon, normally they don't suspend their strike and protest what they do for only 1 day. But the matter we come for that strike matter so. Now to say man, federal government we don't get a court order where they restrain NLC from protesting or going on strike, but NLC still go on strike and protest. That is so. So like this, so NLC federal government could drag NLC like small generator go court to say they in a contempt of court. As I declare you so, one senior advocate of Nigeria don't follow to say federal government don't get that right. Say they not go fee charge person because hunger not the look person face. No worry, I go give you the full gist to it. Everything we talk for inside this matter soon. Number 3, now big. Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo Baba don't follow to say this subsidy removal so say na the right move. Say na the sacrifice when Nigerians need to make for us to emerge victorious. I don't know the battle, the fight will emerge victorious. But I will give you the full gist. Oh yeah, like this time I'll start this update proper. So I think I'll beg you. Anywhere where they watch this video from, I beg do me one small favor, help me share the video. Make any other person will get interest for this kind of matter. May they for see this video, may they know what they sup when inside the Nigerian lifestyle. Back like this small inside the first gist, which is our Niger matter. So make we hear waiting make people where a local said go Niger Republic. They not feel accomplish their mission, they come back yes, they not feel spend the night. When I hear the footage, listen and be blessed. He said the General Abdul Salam Tiani led military junta in the Republic of Niger is planning on recalling the Nigerian ambassador to Nigeria after failing to come to terms with the delegation of the Economic Community of West African States on the return of democracy in Niger. The junta is also planning to recall Nigerian ambassadors to Togo, the United States, and France, as it pushes to evict French and US troops in the country while declaring an end to all memorandum of understanding between France and the Republic of Niger. Defense sources privy to the ongoing meeting in Niamey, the Niger capital, confirmed that the development to our correspondent Friday morning, which is today. The ongoing negotiation has failed. The junta has declared that it will recall Niger's ambassador to Nigeria, Togo, France, and the US. An impeccable defense source said in a text message sent to our correspondent Friday morning. Voila. He said the junta has just announced that it will evict French and US troops in Niger Republic, noting that all memorandum of understanding agreements between France and Niger has ended. Another source privy to the development noted, that's another source. The military junta in Niger, led by Tiani, the former head of presidential guard to the President Mohamed Bazoum, detained Bazoum in a palace coup on July 26, 2023, while Tiani later declared himself head of state. In an attempt to resolve the political crisis in the Niger Republic, the ECOWAS on Thursday dispatched 2 missions abroad with the mandate to achieving a resolution to ending the crisis, while the first delegation, led by former Nigerian head of state General Abdusalami Abubakar, retired, led the engagement with the coupists and other parties in the Nigerian embassy in the country's capital, Niamey. Another delegation led by Ambassador Babagana Kingibe led the engagement with the leaders of Libya and Algeria concerning Niger crisis. A statement on Thursday by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Aljuri Ngilale, chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, President Bola Tinubu, who dispatched both teams on the mission, charged the General Abubakar's team with a mandate to expeditiously resolve the crisis in the troubled country. The mission to Niger Republic, which departed for Niamey immediately after President Tinubu's briefing, was in line with the resolution reached at the end of the extraordinary summit of the ECOWAS held last weekend in the presidential villa. The former Nigerian head of state is joined in the delegation by the Sultan of Sokoto and the president of ECOWAS Commission, Omar Aliyu Toure. Briefing the two delegations, President Tinubu charged them to engage all stakeholders robustly with a view to doing whatever it takes to ensure a conclusive and amicable resolution of the situation in Niger for the purpose of African peace and development, rather than a move to adopt the geopolitical positions of other nations. That is that about that gist. Now what it does up so. Also the second update, which is big. Now I was senior advocate of Nigeria, come say you cannot get a court order to restrain hunger. Hear the full gist. Listen and be blessed. He says senior advocate of Nigerian Ebun Olu Adegboruwa says the court order suit filed by the federal government against the NLC and the TUC does not have the capacity to curb the hunger and pains in the country. In fairness to the federal government, you cannot go to court in a matter like this. If we were to advise the federal government as lawyers, because you cannot get a court order to restrain hunger, you cannot get a court order to restrain suffering, Adegboruwa said on Channels Television. The organized labor on Wednesday kicked off its protest against the anti-people policies of the President Tinubu administration in the major parts of the country. The federal government filed a contempt case against the NLC and TUC for allegedly resisting an order restricting the unions from embarking on industrial action. According to organized labor on Wednesday, all workers in the private and public sectors across the country will appear at court proceedings in a contempt case preferred against organized labor by the federal government. The Sun, however, stated that from the explanations given by labor, the protest was held in the exercise of their fundamental right under Section 39 of the Constitution, and it should not be taken as a strike. The human rights activists, speaking further, noted that some of them in labor and civil society organizations were not part of the case. The federal government did not sue the civil society organizations, the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, or the organizations that were represented. We were not part of the suit, and you see that we were part of the protest yesterday. In fact, we'll just stop down for them. All the gist we fall out from that side with that one. On to the last update, which is Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State, which says subsidy removal pain Nigeria must undergo to emerge victorious. He said Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State has described the removal of the fuel subsidy as a pain Nigeria must undergo before it will emerge victorious. Soludo made this assertion during the commissioning of the Solution Innovation District in Awka, the state capital, on Thursday. Soludo noted that Nigeria must focus on the future while jettisoning the old order, as he called a thorough embrace of technology, which according to him will provide more opportunities for youths in society. According to a statement made available to our correspondent in Abuja on Thursday, Soludo made the disclosure during the commissioning of the Solution Innovation District in Awka, the state capital. He said, the world may be going east or west, but Nigeria must go through necessary disruptive changes. The removal of subsidy and the floating of exchange rates are just some of these changes. It is quite auspicious that we are opening this district at the critical time. Our greatest resource is human capital, and we want to mine it to infinite elasticity. Only those who can see tomorrow, only those who plan and work towards it can control the future. I ask our youth to look up to opportunities in these ongoing disruptive changes. We could leave this one here. So now the updates we did this morning, so make a let know to the for the country. Anyway, just thank God for everything.